Hello, 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 everyone. I am Recie Myers, and
Hello, I'm Roland.
every afternoon, well, this whole week, the last couple of weeks, we've been coming at 5:30 just to share a nugget or two, and we are speaking directly to spiritual entrepreneurs, people who they know that they have a special purpose, and they are working to fulfill. Oh yeah, fulfill their purpose and their passion. And so this week, like we did last week, we're just looking at people who are very successful, and we're looking to see what it is exactly that they do to bring out the greatness, the success that they have within themselves. And yesterday we shared about nine different. Oh my, yeah. We shared nine different tips that we need to consider as we are on our journey to develop our greatness. Hi, Norm. Glad that you can join us today. So, yesterday we did nine. Today we're just going to add a few more to that. And Jim Rohn, he is a really, really, really good speaker. He's very a great motivational speaker. He shared about nine of those tips, and so today we just want to add some more. He says, and I would call this one number 10. A great leader needs unwavering courage. Now, it's not easy to just have the courage to go through something because, especially if you've never done something before, it could be a little bit nerve-wracking. But you have to find that courage from deep within yourself to be able to keep moving forward in spite of the doubts that we may have, in spite of the fears that we may have, and have the courage to do something that, even if you're not quite sure, just keep moving forward. Did you want to add something to that?
No.
Well, especially if you even didn't think you can do it, find that courage. And even if you moving forward, there's some people. Well, there's an expression, doing it afraid, or whatever it is that you're doing it afraid, but still finding the courage within not to quit, to keep pressing on.
Because if you're afraid, more than likely others are afraid too. So your action could be inspiring somebody else.
That's right.
So, you just have to take that step out there.
So I call that number 10. The next one, find within, as a great leader, find and exercise self-control. It's easier said than done, because sometimes some people can rub you the wrong way, and it might be easy to just lash out at them, but to find that restraint, there's kind of like a warfare between liberty and what was that other one?
Tyranny.
Liberty and tyranny.
Mm-hmm.
And we humans, because of sin in this world, we do have a natural bent towards that that carnal, that destructive. We do have that, so we have to check ourselves.
Right.
Do you want to add any?
Well, I don't know. Let's see. You said it all?
Okay. All right, I'll let you say the next one.
Well, let's see. We talked about self-control.
That's the one I just did, self-control.
Yeah. Well, I just want to add with that, your temper must be well managed.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the self-control.
And he said too, controlling the appetite, your desire, be able to control that. He says there's a dark side or a dark side of our nature. To keep that in check, push that away and not be in leading towards destructive type things.
Yeah.
Oh, some others have come on here. Let's see. Hi, sweetie man.
Sweetie man.
Sweet. Lynn, hi. Glad that you can join us. Hi, Norm. Let's see. We can wave to you all. Lynn, sweetie, and then Adriel. Hi, oops, glad that you guys can join us today.
Mm-hmm.
All right, the next one, he says, have a keen sense of justice, knowing what is right, what is fair. Some people, have partial. As a leader, and this comes into as a parent. If you have more than one child, you have to be fair with your children. You cannot show favoritism, not only as a parent, but as a leader. You don't, select, what do you say? Show favoritism. Favoritism. I've worked at a school where there's a certain clique, they get all the praise, and they could never do anything wrong. And, as a leader, you have to check yourself so that you're not just recognizing a certain segment of the population and showing favoritism, because that tends to rub people the wrong way. Mm-hmm. And along with that, not only what is fair, but what is balanced, have rules and regulation and follow through, and as teachers in the classroom, we had to keep check on that too, because some kids are like, oh, you like her, those are the favorites, they get all the privileges. Well, you try to find something good that the others are doing as well, so that you can recognize their efforts, especially when they do something very well. Recognize them.
Yeah.
So sense of justice.
Yeah. Okay. Because if not, you find that it'll take a toll.
It can sabotage your efforts.
Right.
And it impacts the camaraderie. It causes dissension. It causes friction within your organization.
Right. Well, if you always do the right thing, you never have to worry about pleasing anybody or anything. Your morals are not compromised.
It's a good point. Compromising morals. Mm-hmm. And then the next one, have a definiteness of decision. And he's really stressed this too. When we can make decisions pretty early, mm-hmm. opportunities don't get away from us.
Right.
It doesn't mean that you make it in haste, because you still want to have that slow, careful, thought out thinking, but not too hasty.
Right. He likened it to, plans that you may have for the day. If you have plans for the day, it's best to take care of business first thing in the morning.
Right.
That way the day doesn't get away from you. And you be at the end of the day and you look back, you haven't accomplished much. You haven't accomplished what you want to accomplish.
And that goes hand in hand with, I was listening to a live by Sipo, how do you say her last name now? Anyway, if this is an area of challenge for someone, she mentioned that you can set a timer. You have a number of things to get done, and maybe you're getting distracted with different things. Set a timer, maybe like 25 minutes. Okay, the 25 minutes, I'm going to work on this thing, get it done, maybe take a quick, 5-minute break, set it for another 25 minutes, go to the next thing, and before you know it, you will be able to accomplish many of the things that you set aside for yourself to get done.
And he also spoke of opportunity. So it goes back to making those definite plans and that decision, at the beginning of the day.
I like that.
So you don't lose opportunity.
I like that. Indecision is the thief of opportunity. I think I'm going to make a post on that. I like that. Yeah. And he says too, and this is important in anything that you're doing. Like in a marriage, set certain things at the beginning so that you're not really struggling way into the marriage, and right. it goes along with anything in relationships, in a job, having definite plans.
And as long as you are alive, mm-hmm. you can affect those changes, those plans.
Yeah, he says, especially if you know you are only doing 10% of you are only effective 10% of the time. That doesn't mean it has to stay like that all the time. You can then change to make plans before the day begins. So let's say today's Tuesday. Well, tomorrow hasn't come yet, so you can start making plans today for tomorrow. So when you wake up out and you get up, you're on track to get certain things done. And if it's a bad habit of procrastinating, because again, these are effective tips for good or not good, great leadership. Mm-hmm. So if you're lacking in any one of these areas,
you know what to work on.
You got to tighten it up, mm-hmm. because what you do now affects your future.
That's right.
All right. Did you have another one that you want to share?
I'm looking over here now. I think we covered a lot.
So we did plans, have definite, and that's kind of look different from vision, because if you have to have the vision first, and the vision allows you to make plans, mm-hmm. to be able to achieve the goals that you set for yourself. So,
yeah, I guess you kind of touched on justice.
Yes, I touched on justice. Yeah. So I think we hit them all.
Yeah, I think that's it.
So these are just some tips that Jim Rohn has shared, and he received these valuable tips from his mentor, Napoleon Hill, and they have made such an impact in his life. And
I know that's one thing, and we mentioned this before, but he says it again. We need to plan for personal development, and that is so important. Okay, that's what a good leader does. They always, better yourself. I know in the business world and even in the school system, we got all these personal development courses that we got to mm-hmm. take. The same thing in the business world. They're always sending people out, for personal conferences for personal development.
Yeah, that was important. He says, you don't just plan for like your finances. We all human beings, there's so many sides to us, and we can't just work on just one side or one aspect of our lives. We have to develop the full person, and there, continue educational classes, taking courses, listening to people who are successful and finding out what they've done, and constantly reflect on ourselves and see, okay, where am I lacking? What do I need to do? How can I better myself?
The thing is, there's always something to learn, mm-hmm. and no one knows everything. There's always something to learn, something that we can benefit by to make us better people.
Yeah.
So.
And that's the goal.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say this. It wasn't in the book or in the content that was being shared. There's so much that we all need to do to improve ourselves. We don't have time to be sitting down and like, oh, look at we, focusing on other people, maybe discussing, oh, this person didn't do this, and that distracts us from what's important. The important thing is being able to be the best you, the best me. I can be, you can be, because life is a journey, and on this journey, we are constantly working to get better.
I remember that Army commercial saying, "Be the best that you can be."
Oh, that's
Join
right.
the Army. Yeah.
Be all that you can be.
Yeah.
The song, yeah.
But this follows in that same vein.
Yes. So that's what we have for you today. Talking about leadership, great leaders, and we all are leaders. We are on this path. We can all be effective leaders or better leaders. And so that's what Roland and I are doing. We're wanting to see how we can better ourselves, knowing what we need to do on our journey to being the best that we can be.
Because you never know where you could end up. You could be president of the United States one day, and this information could be very valuable.
That's right. So tomorrow is Wednesday. We will see you then, bright. Oh, almost said bright and early. Tomorrow around 5:30. And we'll have another nugget or two that can help you on your journey towards your greatness. And if there's anything that we may have said that resonates with you, do share it out. Tell us where you're tuning in from. And be sure to type replay if you're catching this at a later time. So have a great day, and we will see you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
Enjoy your evening. Bye now.